Welcome back to Talk Smack with Mac MMA. I got a badass with me, Alex Gluzman. He has a fight coming up in a couple weeks against Ryan Hickey, who actually I had Ryan on my pod like last year sometime. He's a good guy. I see you guys are both two Canadian fighters, right? See these
Yeah, buddy.
these Zoom calls, man, with the Wi-Fi. It's always a pain in the butt. But yeah, you're from Canada, right?
That is right. I am from Canada.
Nice. It's do the Canadian guys usually get matched up on the card, or was it like a luck of the draw type thing?
I mean, the last bantamweight fight from the last card, both Scott Rodriguez and Diego De Jesus, they were from Canada too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Is there a lot of like I don't want to say competition, but like at your gym, is there a lot of guys that are training and fighting and stuff?
Um, see, before COVID, like I come from Jocelyn's originally, and I still train there.
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID, like we actually had a good group of fighters, right? We were having fighters left and right. Quite a few got canceled, some got a bit unlucky, but we were very active.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like COVID, I guess, kind of ruined it. I'm like maybe one of maybe two fighters that are active right now.
Yeah, that's a struggle, man. How does that have direct correlation upon like your growth and gains as a fighter, and how does that translate into the cage?
Well, the training there is still good. It's just that like everyone kind of all the fight, like most fighters kind of went their separate ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of gyms closed down because of COVID. Didn't want to take the chance, and some fighters just found other homes.
Yeah, that's a struggle with COVID that a lot of people don't really mention, is that when it comes to the MMA gyms or just gyms in particular, you're close to people. If you're rolling in jujitsu, you're breathing in each other's faces. And then when you have a pandemic flare up and scare the shit out of everybody, not too many people are really gonna want to go and do some jujitsu at that time.
Like people don't really care about, like, come on, COVID is like people already realizing that's not really a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like the fines that come with it. So
Yeah.
if the gym kept open, my coach was afraid that he didn't want to take the chance of getting fined.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely understand the decision, and he
Yeah.
had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough. Like you said, now COVID, nobody really cares about that shit. Nobody's really gonna die. You stay healthy, you eat good, and you're gonna be all right. But in the
100.
beginning, yeah, in the beginning when it first started, and people were having issues with it, and like you said, gym owners, they didn't want to get fined, so it's like, how you gonna pay your bills? And then fighters are dropping out, so it's MMA gyms are definitely taking a hit these last couple of years. But anyways, I want to talk about you as a fighter, man. How did you get started in fighting?
Um, well, originally I come from a Taekwondo background.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I've done it for pretty much since like from childhood onward.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from like born in Israel, right? I started out with like karate. I came to Canada, and originally when I came to Canada, I lived in Winnipeg for like the remainder of my childhood. That's where Taekwondo happened. And when I came to Hamilton, I decided, you know what, let's get like, because I've been watching like guys like George St. Pierre,
Mm-hmm.
Anderson Silva, right? Like those legends. And I thought to myself, like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I can definitely beat people up and make a living out of it, like that's pretty cool. Not many people do that, so let's give that a try. And when I came to Hamilton, a week later, I came to Jocelyn's.
Mm-hmm. And then so you started in Taekwondo, and then you ended up at Jocelyn's. What is a form, or what type of specific training were you doing there when you first arrived?
He got me into kickboxing first, but then I'm kind of like, he told me if I wanted to be a fighter, I need to win jiu-jitsu tournaments. So that's kind of where I decided to focus on the ground game,
Mm-hmm.
ground aspect of it. And, it took a little bit, but yeah, it happened.
Yeah, it's starting to come together. That's one thing that I've realized is that if you don't have jujitsu, you're gonna struggle a little bit in the cage. Yeah, you might have fucking lightning and thunder in your hands or in your feet, but if somebody takes you to the ground and you have no training whatsoever, you're gonna get tossed around a bit or you're gonna get tapped out real quick. So up until this date, how long have you been training in jujitsu for?
So I started in 2015. So
7 years, yeah. So you you got
like,
some sauce on the ground for sure after 7 years.
well, I kind of hope so. But like I've been a blue belt since forever now, right? And when I roll with other blues, other color belts, like people tell me like, dude, you're not a real blue belt. Like, but I understand how the process goes. I understand how like the grading takes forever. I respect
Hmm.
it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Shit, myself, I'm still trying to get my first little stripe on my white belt. I feel like I'm gonna be so proud when that day comes.
That's ain't shit, trust me.
Yeah, no, jujitsu is fun, man. Matter of fact, I got jujitsu training as soon as we get off of here. I got to jump over and get down to Extreme Couture. But how do you feel like? How long were you rolling for before you started to see a dramatic difference in your, I guess, comfortability and just your skill on the ground?
Well, I caught on pretty quickly. So, like, I don't know, it's always a struggle at first. Sometimes still is, I'm not gonna lie. But I think a solid like 3, 4 months is kind of when my head kind of started circulating, kind of started taking everything in.
Hmm.
And 6 months after that, or no, like 6 months into jujitsu, I decided let's compete. Of course, like just like everyone, most people's first tournament, I got choked out, but
It's
it,
part of the
it happens to
process.
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely part of the process. I feel like if you go into jiu-jitsu with the expectations of you're never going to get choked out, you're fucked. I got choked out last week at least like 12 times and we only did 4 rounds.
It
Yeah.
is what it is. Like if you don't get choked out, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You're not taking enough chances and trying to extend your game and learn new things.
Facts.
Yeah, so you in the cage, man, you've been really active as of late. I think in the last 5 months, you've had like going on your third fight, right?
Uh, so I've been really alternating between MMA and boxing.
Hmm.
And I think that's gonna be my seventh fight overall in the span of like a year.
Nice.
Right. So I'm just making up for lost time. Oh, I'm trying to. If COVID didn't happen, I would like to think I'd be pro by now. I told this to everybody,
Hmm.
but hopefully, like down the line, like maybe around summer, I can make my pro debut.
Nice, nice. Yeah, because you've been doing this amateur thing for a while now. I think I've seen something like you had a professional kickboxing fight back in like 2015 or 17 or
It's
something
not
like that.
professional. It was not professional. It was amateur,
Okay,
but it
because
was held under Prospect, which is known for professional. Prospect is a professional MMA organization.
okay,
Back in the day, like MMA was illegal in Ontario, but they somehow decided kickboxing was. So we started off with that.
yeah.
But it's really amateur. It's not pro. But I do have a kickboxing record.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, I don't know how that works to have a pro kickboxing fight, but an amateur in MMA. But yeah, thanks for clearing that up. So if you can go back to like day one when you started Taekwondo, is there any advice that you would give yourself?
I would. I mean, not really. I mean, instead of maybe like hanging out in Taekwondo, like would have started MMA much. I would tell myself to start MMA much sooner than I did. I
Hmm.
started at 19, so I probably like lowered down to like maybe 16.
Yeah.
But honestly, other than that, I regret nothing.
Nice. So it's shit. It sounds like you're working your ass off then. If you have no regrets, then you're setting
Every day,
yourself up.
every day, brother, every day.
I
If
could
you
dig
don't
it.
work your
So
ass off, what you doing, right?
Exactly, because everybody else around you that's chasing that dream is living, breathing, and sweating fucking MMA, trying to make it to the next level.
Exactly.
So
That's what
how
that is.
kind of go through like your day to day with me. How is your training regiment looking like?
Um, Honestly, I noticed for when I fought for MFL in Montreal, I was doing really well. Um, I fought Scott Rodriguez, right? He fought in the last card for the bantamweight title. So he took me down repeatedly. So what I'm adding now is I'm adding more wrestling to my regimen. You like no matter I realize that no matter how good your ground game is, you need wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need that shit. Because eventually someone who's good at jiu-jitsu is gonna keep taking you down repeatedly and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
So and I noticed Ryan Hickey's ground game is actually really good too. So I'm working more on that. Just jiu-jitsu and wrestling in general. My striking is already good,
Yeah.
but the ground game is where I think a lot of the I think this fight will actually take place on the ground. It's
Yeah.
very possible that I'm prepared for that.
Do you want it to be on the ground or would you rather it stay standing?
Um, to me, it doesn't like I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. I'm ready for. I'm a good striker. Ryan, I think he's a really tall guy actually,
Mm-hmm.
and he's definitely. I've had my eye on him for quite a bit. He's been fighting long before I have.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fighting before I have. But he presents. I'm very excited for that challenge. Right, I'm very. He's a very he's a tough guy and he's very interesting to figure out. And I can't wait till I get the chance to do that.
Yeah, it seems like both you guys are pretty damn seasoned in terms of being in the cage and being composed. This isn't your first rodeo. You guys have both had what's your amateur record like? You got like 6, 7 fights in?
For MMA, well on paper I'm 3-2 MMA,
Okay,
but
so 5 fights
I'm
and you
I'm,
have a bunch
I'm
of
like 4 and
boxing and
1 in reality.
kickboxing. Yeah, yeah. All right, that's good shit, man. So let's talk about your matchup. You mentioned Ryan a little bit. He seems like a really nice guy. Seems like another guy that's fucking grinding, and I believe his brother is a fighter or a trainer too. Uh, yeah, is there anything that you'd like to say to your opponent?
Good luck, bro. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. How do you have fun, man? Getting punched in the face or getting choked out? How is that fun to you?
No, punching in the face is only in training. In training is okay.
Yeah.
But my goal, as always, you come in clean, or actually, there's actually a joke. I come into the fight ugly as hell. I come out prettier than I did when I came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always the goal.
Do you have a prediction for the fight? Whether that's a submission, a decision, a knockout?
Yeah, I don't really like when people ask me for predictions, right? Because I don't think I'm gonna submit him,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I can knock him out for sure. I have seen him get knocked out before.
Yeah. That's nice, man. That's excited. Is there any current fighters in UFC or Bellator or PFL, wherever the hell it may be, that you kind of emulate your game towards or kind of see yourself in that fighter?
Um, Connor is one, obviously. We're both southpaws. We're both counter strikers. Valentina Shevchenko.
That's my
I,
girl, man. She's so
I,
badass.
yeah, she's a bad girl. I
Yeah.
enjoy her. Petr Yan is another one. I think I've seen his last few fights. I've seen a few similarities with Petr Yan as well. Dustin for sure. Boy, I think those four would probably like that pop onto my head right now.
Those are four absolutely fantastic people to pattern your game after. Those Valentina, man, she's just so complete. She has no weaknesses whatsoever. And then
Who the heck is him?
Dustin, he's a killer. Connor, everybody knows Connor. So it's like, yeah, man, those are some badass people. I know not Valentina related, but Wei Lee and Joanna just signed on to redo that fucking super banger that they've had a couple years ago. So I'm really excited for that one. Is there any upcoming fights that you're pretty excited for other than your own?
Um, I'm excited for Charles and Gaethje. Charles Gaethje is one. There's
That entire
what else?
card, Chandler and Tony, that's going to be a banger.
Chandler, Tony. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
That's actually I think Tony can actually win this one, to be honest.
I hope so, man, because he's just been losing the last few years, and we need Tony. Tony winning is good for all of MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Benil and Islam.
That's going to be a big one. That's having lasting repercussions in terms of a title fight potentially afterwards or a little down the road.
That should be an interim title fight, if anything.
Yeah, right. That is going to be a slobber knocker, man. The one thing that I love about MMA now is that the talent pool is so freaking deep that we're seeing unbelievable fights every weekend, it seems like.
Yeah, and like there's so many up and comers. There's lots of like upsets, right? And then they're like these like up and comers that are like top 10 already, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much work you need to put in, because there's a lot of motherfuckers out there grinding, and you got to show and prove that you're different. You're the one that's gonna make it to the top and fuck everybody up. Yeah, well, Alex, I really appreciate you getting on Talk Smack with Mac, man. You got a fight coming up April 29th at Cage Wars 52 against Ryan Hickey. I think it's going to be a fucking fantastic fight. Both of you guys seem like badasses that work hard and are really well-rounded. That's the common denominator that I get from you guys. I'm going to be talking to Ryan hopefully this weekend, and maybe after your guys' fight, if you both want to get back on and talk some shit together and kind of, have a good time. I'm definitely open to that. But anytime I have somebody get on my podcast, I sit back and be quiet and let you plug yourself. So you can let my fans know anything in addition that we've already talked about, maybe your Instagrams or whatever you want them to know. This your time.
Right. I don't know, my Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, there's a lot of like I'm always saying there's always anti-Jewish hate, right? And me being from Israel, right? Like, I fight for my Jewish brothers and sisters. I'm fighting for peace. I'm fighting to stop hatred, right? Like, I'm a very proud Jew. I'm fighting for my Jewish brothers and sisters. Let's get it.
Fuck yeah, man. I love that shit. Well, shit, go out there and get that dub April 29th for the Jewish people, man. I wish you all the best of luck. And that sums it up for this episode of Talk Smack with Mac MMA. Alex Gluzman, you seem like a cool cat, man, and I would absolutely love to have you on the show again and talk some more shit. But other than that, man, we're out. I appreciate it.